Hello Pokemon fans, this match is a single battle, 6v6. This one's against Jason. Looking at his lineup, it's pretty tough, like the last match, I think. So, let's see how it goes for me. This time I lead off with Gastrodon, and he leads off with a Mewtwo. So here, I figured he was a Mega, so I decided to switch out, and then I bring in Alolan Muck. Because I was expecting a Psychic move. So here he's going to Mega Evolve into Mega Mewtwo Y. But he surprises me with Aura Spear. But luckily, with Muck, I carry Assault Vest, but before he leaves, I wanted to give him a present with Pursuit. And unfortunately, it isn't enough to kill, but it still leaves Mewtwo at a pretty good amount of health on for me, anyways. So here, he when he took Mewtwo out, he brought in Tyranitar, and he's kicking that sand up. And here, I think it's a perfect opportunity to bring in Gastrodon. So I bring Gastrodon back because I figured Tyranitar was going to just use Earthquake. And Gastrodon's taking them okay. It's not too bad. I think it's a 3-hit KO, but I have Recover, so it's not too bad. So the Tyranitar gets a little greedy and uses Dragon Dance. But here, I just, instead of going for Toxic, I decided to go for Scald, hoping for the Burn to cut this Tyranitar's attack. Unfortunately, I don't get the Burn. And here, the Tyranitar gets even more greedy by going after a second Dragon Dance. I think the first Dragon Dance would have been enough, I thought, but... And here, I decided to go for another Scald, and it brings it down to red, and I get the burn, so I get very lucky here. Not lucky enough to kill it, but lucky enough to get the burn. So, Tyranitar's in the red with 2 Dragon Dances, but with a burn, and it only brought me down to half overall. So I counted that as a win, and I just recover in its face and get all my health back. So the sand dissipates from the field, back at full health, and the Tyranitar dies due to burn. So now I have to wait for his next Pokemon to come in. And it's a Latios. So I'm not too sure with Latios. It's usually the Calm Minds one, but I was hoping it wasn't. So I was hoping it wasn't the Calm Mind ones, because I would have gone for Toxic, but I go for Ice Beam instead, hoping he wasn't gonna Calm Mind. So so he Calm Minds again, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you better stop, man. It's gonna get ugly. So I need to do something about this. So I decide to use Toxic to put that Latios on the timer, and start spamming Ice Beams afterwards. Hoping it'll do some kind of damage, even though it'll be really tough with the +2 special attack and +2 special defense. So here it starts launching Dragon Pulses at me, and it brings me down to half health, and I'm like, oh no, that's a possible 2-hit KO. So looking at it, I was thinking that it was kind of on a high roll, and I was kind of hoping for the best scenario. I was like, no, there's no way he's going to be able to kill me with the next Dragon Pulse. So I figured I was going to wait, and I was going to use Recover, but it actually does kill me, and I'm like, oh man, that stinks. But luckily Latios is at a good spot to bring in Muck. And I decided to use Shadow Sneak, which is a priority move, and it's super effective against Latios. So that takes care of the Latios. And Jason brings in Garchomp. So here I decide to get Muck out. Unfortunately, I don't have Gastrodon anymore, because Gastrodon would have been a perfect matchup against that Garchomp. So I bring in Snorlax, and with Snorlax, this one is a Rest, Curse, Body Slam, and I think Earthquake Snorlax. I believe that was his last move. So I don't understand why he used Fire Blast, because I'm also a thick fat Snorlax, so I take that Fire Blast very well. I'm also max HP and max special defense. So he uses Surf here, and I don't understand why he's using Fire Blast and Surf, because it's not going to do a lot to a Snorlax. He should have kept spamming Earthquakes. But it's not too bad, because I keep using curses to to raise my attack and defense. It does drop my speed, but with Snorlax, speed isn't the big priority. It's not going to make or break a Snorlax. So here I use Body Slam at +2, and I bring it at half health, and I'm like, okay. So here I was kind of in a dilemma. I was like, well, should I attack or should I just heal on my health? So I knew I was going to start using Earthquakes after seeing how Fire Blast and Surf was going. So instead of killing the Garchomp, which I think I should have done looking back at it, I decided to rest and possibly get another Curse. And then another... But before that happens, I take that Dragon Claw fairly well. I think Jason just wanted to see how much damage the Dragon Claw does. But even with it being stabbed, it still doesn't do enough. So he's just going to go back at using Earthquakes while I'm still asleep. Luckily, since I gave Snorlax leftovers, that also helps him, helps his longevity in the match. With this Earthquake, it brings me back at health. I woke up, but I decided to go for another Curse. Was contemplating, it'd be a good idea to go for the Curse, just so I can raise those stats. But, and I was right over half health, but I knew he was going to use Earthquake again, but I decided to use the Rest instead at this turn, because I figured I thought he was going to stay in, honestly. I didn't think he's going to do what he's about to do. So I'm over here being big and sassy and going to sleep in front of the opponent, but Jason decides to get his Garchomp out of there, and he brings in Mewtwo. So I'm fearing the Aura Spear. So with that, I switch him out and bring in Muck, because I knew Muck he should take it fairly well. So with Muck taking it very well, I thought the Mewtwo was going to try to get out of there, but he learned from his last time that I have Pursuit. But luckily for me, I get a critical hit, and I get the Poison Touch. Or I poison him by having the Poison Touch ability. If you make contact with an opposing player, he's going to get poisoned. So luckily for me, that was just enough to kill the Mega Mewtwo with the poison damage. And I think at this point it's not looking good for my opponent, because Muck he can take just about anything that a Tapu Koko can throw at him. So here I just Poison Jab, and that'll kill any Tapu Koko. So here he brings in Dragalge, the Dragon Poison. So here I knocked off I used knockoff to see what item it had, but it wasn't carrying anything. And it uses Play Rough. So here I used Pursuit, and Dragalge uses Dragon Pulse. So, and it leaves me with 4 hit points, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Muck still has enough in the tank, and I do. So Muck is just owning this match. He is the MVP. So here's the Garchomp again, and here I decided to let Muck die. For whatever reason, I thought I would have been able to outspeed the Garchomp. I don't know why, but I should have honestly used Shadow Sneak to put some more damage on it. And here I bring in the Miltank, and I Heal Bell just in case if he crits or kills my Miltank in case, so I can have my Snorlax healthy. And luckily he misses the Fire Blast. So here I just start using Seismitoss, and it's a 2-hit KO. Here he uses a Dragon Claw, but with my Miltank it's max HP and defense, so I take that fairly well. And here I use Seismitoss on the Garchomp to finish the game with Miltank. So with this match, I think overall, I mean, Muck was the MVP. It did very well. I think predicting the Mewtwo leaving with Pursuit did very well, and I think I should have just worked on killing the Garchomp earlier with the Snorlax. I think Snorlax would have been able to take the other Pokemon fairly well, I think, but that's on me. So thank you guys for watching, and hope you guys watch the next one, and we'll see you later.